you have promised to be tough on corruption. Now, are you going to be as tough on potential corruption within your own administration as you want to be in terms of alleged corruption from the former administration?
Most certainly. We've already kept our promise to lay procurement legislation in the Parliament within our first 30 days of the convening of Parliament. We've debated it. We've sent it to a joint select committee. Procurement of government's goods and services and disposal of trade is the area that brings in, seems to attract the most levels of corruption. And let's understand that every corrupt dollar that goes means you can buy less laptops for the children, you can put less hospital beds, less roads, less community centres. But corruption is not just a masterpiece.
What are you going to do to make sure that certain ministers within your government follow due process in awarding contracts?
Ma'am, the procurement legislation is very, very vital. We have just, so that's one fact, yes, the legislation must be there. It wasn't there, it was promised for the past 10 years, never there. We are going to move swiftly to have that legislation implemented, that's one. Secondly, we have disappointed some of our state boards and several others to come. I have indicated that we will do a seminar for those state board personnel where we will bring the lawyers in and bring the administrators in and talk about good governance practices, transparency and accountability. People first need to know. Sometimes a person may do something without the intention of being corrupt, but the process has been reached in some regard. And it's maybe because they just don't know that there was a process that has to be followed. It happens to ministers, it happens to the new state board personnel, those areas. I am very determined. Should it be within my cabinet or outside my cabinet, that corruption in public office is not to be tolerated in any form. And I will act upon it.
And after the training, if a minister falls short of due process, would you fire him?
Certainly. Should evidence come forward that there has been corruption on the part of any of my ministers, certainly their appointments would be revoked.
Now, today you met another leader who's running a coalition government like yourself, and you've been to number 10. What your experience of running a coalition grouping government in Trinidad, how are you holding together that coalition of so many different interests? Are you holding it together?
I think we are. I think we're very strong. There have been rumours and attempts to say that we are falling apart and we are fracturing. No, we are holding well together. We're very strong. And it is because that coalition represents, it is a microcosm of the macro, of the society at large. So all the interest groups are within the coalition, and therefore, what can we do? We will serve the people, serve the people, serve the people, as I always say, because those interests are within the cabinet, and therefore we could do consideration. Meeting Prime Minister Kamla today, we talked a bit about running the coalition government, and he made a very interesting point. He said, I do believe it makes us stronger, that we're able to get more done, because all the interests are being served from inside, so that inside the cabinet, so that when you come out with the decisions, they're accepted by all these various interests within the society at large.
But as we know, in 1986, 87, 88 in Trinidad and Tobago, a coalition of interest can also pull everything apart.
Sure. I think that we learn from our mistakes, of course, and we learn from the mistakes of the past one. Secondly, this coalition, in my respect, is very different from what was there in the 1986 situation. In this one, the major coalition partner, we have a majority of our own. It is not one that is that's going to be easily shaken. Our coalition partners make us stronger in that regard. And thirdly, the interest groups that are being represented. At that time, the groups were not the same. For example, we do have Labour inside with us, in the person of Mr. McLeod and his movement for social justice. We have coalition partners out of the NCHAC, coalition partners out of the CFP, and of course our own major party, the UNC. I just see it different, and I think there's a commitment that if we don't get it to grasp, it's going to be really severe repercussions for the society at large. There is so much hope and so much expectation in us to perform and to do that every minister who sits in our cabinet and the MPs, you can see that commitment that they want this thing to work, and I think that is very important.
But the decommitment is one thing. If you have this one pulling in this direction, that one pulling in another direction, could you be headed for early elections if a coalition falls apart?